Hello, my name is Ian Contover, and this is Current Buzz. Thank you for watching today. Today we have two gentlemen that I know very well. One is Kevin Coughlin. He's the president of Lowell Sons Charities, and we have Keith Rudy, a former boxer from the Golden Glove champ, and we'll talk about that a little later in the program. He's going to be the sponsorships and marketing of the New England Golden Gloves. That's your new title, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Good to see you, Keith,
Nice
by
to
the
meet
way.
you. Thank you.
Kevin, that's all right. I see you all the time. So
Nice to see you, and good morning, Dean.
Yeah, good morning. I just wanted to ask you in regards to Lowell Sons Charities. You're the president.
Yes.
How long have you been the president?
It's the fourth year.
Fourth year, okay.
Yes.
And what does that entail? I mean, charities are basically for the Christmas season or all year round?
Well, it's all year round, though
Okay.
we certainly are most visible during the Christmas season in the Sun Santa program. But the Golden Gloves.
Well, you're visible all over. I see you in the
thank you.
paper. Your picture once a week in the paper.
What a nice compliment that is, Dean. Thank you so much.
It's true, though, right, Keith?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah.
But we're most visible at this time in the Sun Santa program, thanks to a number of wonderful individuals and very generous corporations and notable individuals that are high profile, helped to raise money for us for the Sun Santa program. And this year we have distributed funds both for food and for basic necessities to over 1,600 families.
Wow.
And over 2,500 children received, vouchers for buying gifts this year. Right. So it's a tremendous effort. It's very fulfilling for me. I'm very fortunate to be associated with the Sun Charities.
Mm. They've been around a long time.
They've been around since 1947.
47, okay.
And
post-World War II.
That's correct, yeah. So, even though people think about the Sun Santa program as the charities, the Golden Gloves are a charity as well. And the Golden Gloves are all about youth development. And yes, you have the boxing, and we have alum here as a former champion. But, the Golden Gloves are all about youth development. They're about teaching youngsters that may or may not have structure, may or may not have guidance, through the help of the individuals in the gyms, through their coaches, through their trainers, to develop all those social skills in life, showing up on time, respecting elders, how to lose gracefully, how to get over defeat. Those are the main programs of Golden Gloves. So when you put it together with the need for the families, you put it together with the youth development, Lowell Sons Charities deserves a tip of the hat because it's really a encompassing program. First envisioned early on by the owners of the Lowell Sun. Now the ownership has changed on, but the traditions of the charities continue.
Right.
All the money that gets raised, all that money stays in the community and gets distributed in the community. So there's no large administration fees. There's nothing that goes anywhere. We're good stewards of the funds. We properly administer that. We utilize our partners, the Salvation Army, and community teamwork, in fact, to actually distribute the funds so that we know that it gets to the most needy. And it's a very, very fine-tuned program. It goes out.
No doubt.
I'm telling you a few things that you never heard about, but it's been happening for years. And this year is no exception. We're out there working very, very hard. And it's an exciting time right now because not only do we celebrate the Christmas holidays, we celebrate the Sun Santa program as it winds down, and we celebrate the Golden Gloves program as it winds up because we have 9 weeks of performances coming, 9 weeks of competitions starting on January 9th and going through March 6th.
I have a poster right here. We're going to put it on the air. The Golden Gloves start January 9th, right? What day is that? Is
right, Thursdays. Always Thursdays.
Always Thursday.
So
okay.
Listen, this is one thing when we leave here today, everybody's going to want to remember. Thursday night is fight night.
Okay, good.
Just
in Lowell,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right at that Lowell
and it goes
auditorium.
from March 6th to 2025. That's when the finals will be, right?
That'll be the night of the finals. That's correct.
Tickets are $22 and $12 for students. And it's at Lowell Memorial Auditorium. I'm going to show the poster and on. So we'll put it up there and let them look at it so people can get an idea. And I see you have a code right here.
Yes.
The code right there.
Yeah, that code brings you to being able to purchase tickets, and you're able to learn just
QR
a
code.
little bit. QR code, yes.
That's what they call a QR code. Yeah, thank you. Definitely. I'd like to get Keith in here because Keith fought in the Golden Gloves, and you were a Golden Glove champ. But what weight?
Champion.
Champion. I'm sorry.
Welterweight.
Welterweight. Yeah. Okay.
147.
What is welterweight in regards to pounds?
147 pounds.
147. Okay, that's cool.
It's been 50 years I've been at that weight. No.
So, do you think it made you as a person by fighting and meeting other people from different parts of the country?
Absolutely. The friends I've met back 50 years ago, actually, I just celebrated last year the 50th anniversary of my New England title that I won along with Dick Eklund and Nato Malo Jr. So I thank the Golden Gloves last year for introducing us and recognizing our 50th anniversary. But if I may, Dean, just for one moment, the Lowell Golden Gloves of New England Golden Gloves, it's not just Lowell. You look at most of your fans, they're greater Lowell areas. They're spread out. I know a lot of boxers that used to come from Chelmsford themselves. So I think, and even when you go to the businesses, when you go to business outside on a Thursday night, you're seeing the businesses have picked up their volume of business during Thursday nights. People stop and maybe have some dinner or something before they go to the Golden Gloves.
Right.
And maybe have a cocktail on the way home or something. But the Lowell Golden Gloves is not just Lowell. It's the greater Lowell community that makes the Golden Gloves.
All right. Now, what you said you were New England Golden Glove champion. So you started in Lowell in regards to a round robin, like the beginning of January, like they have.
Right.
You have a round robin, and then you win your class in Lowell, right?
Yes.
And then there's other clubs that come in for the New England
Right.
championship.
We start up with the preliminary bouts, and that's the Greater Lowell tournament. So you have to, in order to win the Greater Lowell, there's two different divisions. There's a novice division for the less experienced boxers, and then you have an open division, which is more experienced boxers. Once you win the novice title, you have to now box open and be more experienced.
Right.
And we do that for the safety of the boxers. So you don't want to put an inexperienced guy against a guy who's been boxing for a long time. So the way the Golden Gloves is set up it's well balanced. So let's make sure we look at the safety of boxers is paramount to anything.
Because it's amateur boxing.
Right. Okay. And you see the referees today, and I know when I go to the Golden Gloves, people get a little upset when the referee stops a contest because he may see a person maybe get hit with a good punch, and they stop, and then people booing. Well, that's the safety of the referee is there for the safety of the boxer.
Oh, good point.
The outcome of the bout is irrelevant if someone gets hurt. So the point of the boxing is not to hurt anybody; it's outpoint someone. It's a sport. It's the longest tradition sport that we have in Lowell, being in its 78th year. At one time, it used to be Lowell and Lawrence football game, but as we know, that went by the wayside. Mm-hmm. So it's the longest tradition that we have in Lowell right now as far as sporting event.
Right. Let's put it this way in regards to Golden Glove boxing. I've been going to Golden Gloves for years. The last time it was 2 years ago. I did see Kevin there. Maybe I'll go this year. No, I shouldn't say maybe. I will go this year and see what's coming up in the fighting world. Some of these people go to the national. Did you go to the nationals representing New England?
I did.
National means Golden Gloves means everybody from the United States who have Golden Glove tournaments, right? Like New
all
England.
The regions.
Right.
Yes,
yeah, regions. That's good.
Right.
And they fight in the nationals.
Yes.
Now, we're going to get the nationals in Lowell, Massachusetts at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium in
June of 2027.
Okay. Tell me about that real quick. I mean, let's talk about that.
Well, Keith was a big part of that.
All right,
me.
cool.
The boxing community, the city of Lowell, the University of Lowell, and Greater Lowell Community Foundation, the Lowell Auditorium. We could just name all the partners that gathered together. We traveled, the mayor of Lowell, assistant city manager of Lowell, and myself traveled to Tulsa to make a presentation to the National Golden Gloves Board. And it's a competitive bid that goes in each year. Tulsa has this year and next year for the national.
That's kind of unusual, isn't it? I mean, back-to-back years.
They have good facilities.
Okay.
You know, it all depends on the accommodations.
It's the center of the country, basically.
Yeah, it's you know, all these regions. expenses are, important. So some regions will drive, some regions will fly, some regions will, have that. As the eliminations take place, some of the regions go back early, but the price of the hotel room, the ability to accommodate a large number of people, we expect to have 1,000 people come here into the city of Lowell. And the key to our bid this year, and I want to credit and thank the university for it, along with the city of Lowell.
What about Mr. Russo?
Well, he was certainly there. He's the president of the national board.
Of course.
So he was presiding at the meeting when we went.
Oh, okay.
But
final Lowell, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, after the vote. But the whole room was filled with the delegates from the country, so he had to go by the vote.
All right.
But the key point.
What was the vote? Do you remember?
It was like 49-1 or something
Wow.
like that. Tulsa voted against us. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So the key to the proposal was having enough hotel rooms and being able to accommodate you're not just doing boxes, you're doing trainers, you're doing referees, you're doing physicians, you have a whole, national.
Do they bring their own physicians?
They do bring them in, yes, they do bring them in. So we had to make sure we could accommodate that. So the university worked with us. We're actually going to be using what they call University Suites. That's right next to the ballpark in Lowell. It's within walking distance of the Lowell Auditorium, and it worked out great. So we're able to accommodate, in many instances in these suites that are multi-bedroom, you can almost put a whole team, in one area.
Yeah.
But they can do the weigh-ins that are required in the morning. We go right and do the weigh-ins, do the team meetings, do the franchise owner meetings. All of those things can all take place in this wonderful building and area that we've got on the university campus. So it works out great. And
so the students will not be there because they'll be home.
They go home in May, and then they get 2.5 weeks to clean them up and make them appropriate for us, and then we come in like right after that.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it works out great.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's in May in other parts of the country, but this year we worked it out scheduling. They were able to accommodate, so it's going to be that first week of June.
Keith, we've had the Nationals in Lowell at least 2 times. Is
yes,
that correct?
We
you remember what years?
1973 and 1995.
Okay.
I think what's special this year, 2017, will be that it's the pre-qualifying for the Olympic team, because we have the Olympics in 2028. So a lot of your teams will be bringing some of your elite boxers in the United States who will be trying to make the Olympic team. Normally, when you win the National Golden Gloves, you automatically qualify for the trials, and they normally invite 4 or 5 boxers in each weight division, and then they used to be Colorado Springs. I'm not sure if it's still is.
I know. I've been to that complex.
I know Mickey Ward was down there for a while. And the trials are hard. They're very difficult. You have to box like 3 or 4 boxing matches within 3 or 4 days, so it's very difficult. But it's great that.
Well, that's like the Olympics. I mean, you have to box 2 or 3 days apart, or one after another, till you get the gold medal.
And talking about the Olympics, if I may, I just did a history recently on the Lowell Golden Gloves going back, because we're trying to establish a gym in the city of Lowell. Right now, we don't have one. So when I was doing the history, boxing in Lowell goes a lot further than the Golden Gloves in 1947. Actually, we had an Olympic boxer from the city of Lowell, Al Mello, who the city of Lowell just honored with his own stone with in the back Central Street in the Portuguese Club area. They actually paid for everything, but he was the boxer in 1924. So we just celebrated this is his 100th anniversary and his family and everything. We the city of Lowell in the Portuguese community put on a great show for Al Mello. So it's been a while. It's a difficult task to make the Olympic team. It shows you how difficult it is. We haven't done it in 100 years, have another Lowell boxer. So we're inspired to have it here in Lowell. I think it'll be, and I know I've been working with Kevin and Bob and trying to reach out and give the boxers a good time while they're here in Lowell. And we also want to work with the local businesses. So because you're going to have about 2,500 people here for about 2 weeks, 10 days or 2 weeks. So we want to make sure there's plenty for them to do. In the restaurants and in the local establishments are staying open certain hours that these
good point.
that these shows are being done.
Good.
So I think Lowell, I applaud the city manager and the entire city council for stepping up and unanimously voted to say, let's do it. Let's get it here.
How many rings in the complex to box?
They telling me that they can get 3 in the auditorium.
They did. I mean, I was there in 95,
Yeah.
95
Right.
and there were 3.
Right.
And it's different because in one ring it might be the first round, and another ring it might be the
When
third
you have
round.
a bell, you have a horn, and you might have, I don't know, whatever else they use. And it's difficult as a boxer because when you're so used to the bell and you're boxing in ring 2 and you get the horn, and when you hear the bell, you're so it gets a little confusing, but they handle it well. Most of your boxers and their coaches, they're pretty much on it and let you know what.
Keith, where can I get tickets now?
You can get tickets.
Can I, Kevin?
You can get some. You can't. The tickets are not printed yet for 27.
Okay.
We're selling the tickets now for 25. But as a season ticket holder, you would certainly have some preference at the time. So
I see.
We're working on how we do that so that we give some preference to our loyal supporters all these years.
Yeah, well, I'm a loyal supporter.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it would be interesting in regards to because, people want to hone in on them and get those tickets, and
question.
knowing that they have them in hand.
Right.
And now you have them on the phone. You get a ticket. You get it on the phone.
Yeah, you'll be able to do that. Yeah. we'll be
Yeah,
able
but
to.
I'd rather have a ticket so
Physical.
I could frame it or something like that in case some guy goes to the Olympics and
Ceremonial,
yeah, exactly.
I
So
understand that.
And also, Dean, when you're bidding on the National Golden Gloves, they look at your attendance in your community. And Lowell has been one of the I should say the Greater Lowell area has been one of the highest attendance consistently over the years, and that's why I think this is the 3rd time we've got it. So they look at Lowell as a big boxing community, and it always has been. Lowell, Mass has been the amateur capital, they said, of boxing in this area. And actually Brockton was doing the professional champions when you had Hagler and Marciano. So they were mostly a pro town, but we were always one of the better amateur boxing communities.
Keith, let's talk about women in boxing in the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
If there's a young lady in Chelmsford who wants to learn to box and wants to box in the Golden Glove in a novice class,
Right.
let's say, how does that happen? I mean, I've seen some good female boxers go into the Golden Gloves. I mean, they were jacked. I mean, they looked good, and they did very well.
Yeah. Well, Dean, you asked me earlier how I got started with boxing. I came from a family of 9.
You had to protect yourself.
6 older brothers, 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
It was my sister that gave me my first black eye, so I said, I got to learn how to box. So girls have been boxing for a long time, just not in the ring. But
Yeah.
I think that the first thing a girl would have to do is contact a local gym. I know Mickey Ward and Sean Eklund has one in Westford. Jim McNally has one in Reading in the community, or get into a gym where they may train boxers. And I'll tell you, I'm very impressed with the conditioning of some of these.
I agree. I was really blown away with some of them were not in condition, but the ones that were in condition were really jacked.
Right.
I mean, they looked very good, and they boxed very well.
Yeah, I always say about a boxer, Dean, is people see you that one night. It's like anything, in any sport, but people see you that one night. It takes, I would say for me anyways, it took me at least 4 to 5 months to get ready. So you're constantly
running.
conditioning and you're running. Running. I always thought it's the most important because you need that stamina. You got to be able to breathe and
Exactly.
because it may only seem like it's only 3 minutes, but the 3 minutes seems like it's a half an hour after, especially in the 3rd round.
Right.
So usually the champions, you could tell you can divide the champions between those who didn't do the regular workout, the hard workouts. That guy that's still standing, or the girl still standing in the 3rd round, and still looks looks fresh. You can tell they worked. They were out there doing the running. They were out there doing the constant, and it builds character. I think we've always talked about that. It builds character, respect. I started when I was about 9, 10 years old at the local boys club.
So you said they want a new gym in Lowell. You're trying to get a new gym in Lowell?
We're trying to. As you know, it's difficult. Lowell's it's a difficult place only because we're trying to put getting affordable permits in there, and now we just had Mill 5 closed, so we're trying to fill in a lot of the gaps and stuff. So because we're looking at the center of Lowell.
What happened to Romalo's gym? That was popular.
Yeah, I think once Mr. Romalo had passed away, I think that the 3 brothers, I think this, things didn't go the way they wanted, and I think it just shows you how important Mr. Arthur Romalo was to boxing in not just Lowell, but in New England itself. It's hard. It's hard to support a gym. You have to, you have to know what grants are out there.
Yeah, and then you have to pay rent,
Right.
and the heat, etc.
You're not going to support a gym just on boxers.
Right.
You see, like I mentioned earlier, that Mickey Ward and Sean Eklund have a gym in Westford, but they tell me that most of them is done by women fitness classes. Women just want to come in and learn how to box, and that's how they
that's
survive, and pay their rent. Is through women. And Dean, if I may, when you get into a boxing gym, not everybody has to box. Maybe someone wants to learn, wants a kid 9, 10 years old, he's being bullied. I want my kid to learn how to defend themselves.
Right.
So your kid brought him in there. Maybe the kid's a little rough around here, so you want them to, spend a little energy, and get down to the gym and spend some energy on the bag. So there are more reasons why someone would use a boxing gym than just box. So not everybody goes in a boxing gym is going to box. So it builds character. I think when you get in there, and like I said, you get to respect your people that is giving you the time. Most coaches that I know of are not paid. They're all volunteers, all these boxing coaches.
Are you getting new ethnic groups coming into Lowell boxing, or is it just the same?
I think I see it a little bit. I see, there's certain elements in the city of Lowell that we've had an influx over the last couple of years, over the last 10 years. I'm starting to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of again of what a kid wants to try. Everybody wants to try it. Anybody I've ever talked to want to try it. I want to try it once, and once they learn the conditioning and you go through, let's just say an 8-round or 10-round workout, which will probably take about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and you do that 3 days a week, I mean, you're in pretty good shape and you feel good about yourself after you've left the gym. So,
Kevin, I want to ask you this question. Kevin, he's the president of Little Sun Charities, Kevin Coughlin. If I want to donate, or somebody in the audience is watching this who wants to donate to Little Sun Charities, tell them what to do.
Well, there's a number of ways you could do that. You can go online. The easiest way in lowellsun.com/SunSanta, and you'll be taken to a page and you can donate right there.
With your credit card.
With your credit card, yeah, very, very easily.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you can always mail a check in. You can do that, our post office box, and the address is on that same page. You can do that. So whatever's most convenient, we have a post office box, a lockbox that you can send to. But
now, do you put their names in the paper? Sometimes
we
it's
do.
anonymous.
We always honor the donor request. We're good stewards of the funds. So we just ran the first batch of contributions this past week on Tuesday. And in fact, there were several of them. I would say, maybe we had 200 contributions that got listed. We list the name, we list the amount. And then in many cases, some want to be anonymous. There was maybe 10 or 12 that were anonymous.
Did they write that down?
They actually request anonymity, and we always honor that. But then in addition to that, many people will give a donation in honor of their parents who have passed, or a notable figure in their life, like maybe their coach, their former coach, or something like that. It's really
Why would
very
somebody
easy.
be anonymous? That's a question I have.
Well, because they receive so many requests. They could they could be a very prominent person, and they would like to, give anonymously in order to the true legacy of giving anonymity for them. So that's it.
Well, that's a major question. I'm sure people asking that
all
lot.
the time. Yeah, all the time. It's a common question. Can I make just 2 points? And I just want to.
We have a minute to go, so yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll do that. So first of all, I want to just build on Keith's comments. When we went to the bid proposal in Tulsa, Keith mentioned what good history we've had here in Lowell. I can't tell you how many, and some of them, they had to be old timers now, but they remembered the Nationals here in 1995.
Wow.
And they still talked about what a great time the Lowell experience was. So it wasn't just the logistics of boxing. It was that Lowell experience. And I think that's what Keith was talking about. You have to make sure your community is welcome, right?
Sure.
You get ready to bring these individuals in. And I want to thank the council and the city manager, because we're all working together right now to do this piece that's the welcoming